This Perp back with another video. Just got done watching Outer Banks season 2 and wow. I'm gonna try to do my best to get through all the important stuff and possibly where they could take a season 3. I haven't fully processed that, so bear with me. This is going to be a pretty lengthy video because there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to dive in. Before I get into this review, hit that like button, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at perpminded420. And if you are an Outer Banks fan, or if you see this season, let me know some of your favorite moments in the comments below. Who are some of your favorite characters up until this point? So let's start off with the beginning of this, and this picks off right where the first season left off. You know, people think that John B and Sarah are dead, but they still have a bounty on their head for like 50 G's. Well, at least John B, they're heading to the Bahamas. While they're heading to the Bahamas, we get introduced to some new characters like Cleo, and I think his name was Terrence. Meanwhile, back in the Outer Banks, you have the crew trying to clear John B's name because, John B lets them know that he's still alive, and this is where the show, or at least this season, really did it for me, as far as letting John B kind of take a backseat and letting these three, talking about JJ, Key, and Poe, letting them kind of just do their own thing, trying to figure things out. You also have Rafe and Ward. They are pretty much the big bads of the series, but we also get introduced to a potential new threat that kind of introduces something more to the story as far as this treasure hunt, because they're still trying to track down the gold. They eventually lose track of this gold, and we get introduced to a new item on top of the gold that's worth more than the gold in this cross. And I'm gonna get into that very shortly, but yeah, man, just seeing Rafe's character in this is dope. Even Sarah says it. He's unhinged. He's very unpredictable. I do feel like somewhere down the line that Rafe and his father are going to see eye to eye, but that's one crazy duo right there. We also see a lot more of John B and Sarah and them getting closer, and I really like Sarah in this season compared to last season. Sarah, to me, I think is another highlight of this season next to Pope, and I'll get into why. I really liked seeing these two I really like seeing these two's character development throughout this season. Their ups and downs, them questioning, their relationship and their love for one another. Sarah thinking that John B is kind of just all about himself. She's very traumatized. Her family is just in shambles, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go with that. Now let's go to Poe, because they showed Pope's character a lot of respect and a lot of love. You could say that he is definitely the star of this season. You also see the relationship between him and Kiara like kind of build and kind of fall apart at the same time. But you also see Pope really stepping up to that leadership role, because he realizes, John B's not here, so I gotta kind of step up. And you really see the brains of the operation with Pope's character. He just was phenomenal this season. I think he's definitely the best part, but we also get a lot more backstory on his lineage, that he is connected to Denmark, Tanny, and that's where the cross comes into play. Man, it's really dope to see all these characters back, and we get introduced to, like I said, newer characters like Cleo. I really want to see Pope and Cleo be a thing, possibly in season 3. Let's make that happen. Can we get some black love in the OBX? Yes, please. And there's a lot of weird things that go on in this season as well. As far as pacing, I think the pacing's okay at times. I think the second half of this season was paced better. They definitely rushed some things at the beginning, like, you had Sarah getting shot, and even though I knew that she wasn't going to die, but they damn near kind of had a lot of fake outs throughout the season as far as deaths, like Warren faking his death, and I really thought he was dead. I think it was episode 7 where they showed his boat getting exploding, which was really interesting, but he's not at 100% because of the confrontation between him and John B. John B kind of has a moment where he could have killed Ward just like that and threw him overboard, but John B decides to be the bigger man. And I really like that Sarah kind of brought that comparison up, that when she saw her father die, supposedly, John B kind of was emotionless at that point, and she thought that John B would be able to sympathize with her because he too lost his father, supposedly. I say that because at the end of this, we see John B's dad, and this whole time we thought he was dead. And I was thinking about that the whole time because it's similar to the way season 1 ended off, where people thought John B was dead, and it got me thinking, like, maybe his dad's not dead, maybe his uncle also is out there somewhere, because a lot of people are starting to find out about this treasure, the royal merch. Like, there's a lot of characters into play. I do like that they had a funeral for the one cop last season. That was cool. They kind of wrapped that up. They wrapped up a lot of stuff that they introduced in the first season, but they introduced a lot more. So now you have the gold and you have this cross that, they want to get a hold of. Pope wants to get the cross to put it in a museum or something like that, to just, because it's a part of his lineage. So, and I don't know what they're going to do with the gold, or how they're going to get that back, because I think that's going to be a little bit harder to get back considering how they lost it. The cross, they lost that as well, but they end up on this island, and I guess that's where they're going to stay for the future, or at least till we see them in season 3, because they want to come up with another game plan, because it doesn't seem, every plan that they come up with ends up kind of just falling apart. So it's back to the drawing board. But man, I've really enjoyed this whole entire season. We had a lot of twists and turns. We even see John B go to jail for like one episode. Like I said, that's my only kind of gripe, is I was kind of assuming that they would like wait a few more episodes before the crew got back together, because John B stayed dead for like probably like a week or two, and they all kind of reunited by like the 4th episode. It was a cool moment, but I was thinking that they're going to kind of stretch that out a little bit. Overall, I just had a blast watching this series. I think they definitely topped the first one, in my opinion, and just gave a lot of other characters shine, to where compared to the first season, it was all about John B and really Sarah. But like I said, Sarah and Pope really were the highlights of this season. Let me know how you guys feel about this season and where they could possibly go with this, because we got Lambrey out there working with John B's father. We still have Rafe and Ward out there. So there's a lot of potential, a lot of threats, and a lot of potential future threats that we probably haven't seen yet. And I'm wondering how this is all going to come together. Rafe is in control. He's the head of the family, so that's going to be really interesting to see. I think Rafe deserves some type of revenge against Barry. We'll have to see. I'm really looking forward to season 3. Hopefully they've already started shooting. I don't know if it's even gotten renewed for a 3rd season, but like, I love that we got more character development of Pope's character. He's pretty much at the forefront of this season, and he's definitely one of the most important characters overall. But like I said, let me know how you guys feel about this season overall. Till next time, I will see y'all later. Peace.